Well, good afternoon, or at least good noon, I guess. It's not 12:01, it's 12 o'clock. So what do we call it? Well, high noon. It's high noon, it's Thursday, and this is Coffee with Ralph. Listen, last week I wanted to share what this current economic climate has done to the cost of care. And hey, I had a technical issue where only one of my spreadsheets or one of my surveys showed up. And so I'm going to retrace my steps on that a little bit. And I'm going to go out to even a little bit further because I got some feedback that said, but I don't need care today. Why don't we talk about 10 years from now? Okay, we can do that. We're going to do this again, and I'm going to try to share my screen. So let's see here. How do we see? Oops, there went my video. There we go. Share screen. Share that one. Okay, now there we go. We should have both of them up on your screen. I should be in your upper right-hand corner there a little bit. And I'm going to jump into this a little bit. So I started by looking back in 2019, and that was only 5 years ago. So we're going to move from 5 years ago to current to 10 years from now so that I can answer that question, what's going to happen in the future. It's pretty good. It's pretty consistent, year after year. The cost of care goes up between 5 and 7%. Doesn't matter what the economy is doing. Well, I should really reflect differently on that, but with the cost of everything going up, the cost of care has got to go up accordingly too. If food's doubled in price, then what they're going to charge us is doubled in price. But let's go with the Genworth study. So you see on the right-hand side of your screen, and if you're in a small environment with a small screen and you can't really see this, let me know and I'll make sure I forward these sheets off to you. But let's take a look at what 2019 looked like here. And we can see that the annual cost here in Michigan for home care services was $52,000 a year. That works out to just about $4,400 a month. Now, home care services, homemaker services. That's what it sounds like, guys. It sounds like somebody coming in and helping us around the house, doing those chores that, maybe we can't do anymore. Bedding, doing laundry, doing dishes, cleaning the house, mowing the grass, that kind of stuff. That's $52,000 a year, $4,400 a month in 2019. Look at 2023, $5,900. And then if we shoot out 10 years from now, guys, that's almost $8,000 a month, excuse me, which, well, that's almost $96,000 a year. That's dang near double what it was in 2019. So if we're looking at preparing for the future here, and we know that we're going to need some kind of help, which frankly, we're going to need some kind of help. I met with a client yesterday who's now only 62. And he said to me, just think about what we couldn't do, or we could do 10 years ago that we can't do today. And I said, yep, I understand that comment completely. He's telling me he had to lay down, crawl underneath a vehicle or a piece of equipment to grease it up. And when he got out, he wondered how he's going to get off the floor. That's today, and he's 62. Imagine 10 years from now. I said, I understand exactly what you mean. I'm 66. I'll be 67. And I got down the other day to grease up the zerks on my fishing boat so that, I didn't get stuck with a burnout wheel bearing or something. And course, the thought was, how am I going to get up from this? There was no graceful way to do it. It just kind of wasn't as easy as it was 10 years ago. So 10 years from now, that's almost double what it was in 2019. Let's jump on, let's jump ahead there to Home Healthcare, Homemaker Health Aid, Home Health Aid. Well, that's right now, well, in 2019, that was $4,480, almost $4,500 a month for somebody to come in and do the medical side of things. Changing colostomy bags and that kind of thing. Insulin shots, managing drugs and things of that nature. Today, 2023, I should say, last year it was $6,200 a month. That's only $1,800 a month increase. That's not too bad. But then in 2033, that's going to go to almost $8,500 a month. That's over $100,000 a year, guys. I don't know about you, but that's a significant increase. If I'm thinking about it today and going, well, maybe in 10 years, you want to tell me what asset you have that's going to double in the next decade, because that's what we're going to need. I mean, right now it's $6,200 and it goes up to $8,400, $2,200 a month. That's only what, $25,000 or $26,000 difference in a year or in 10 years. Yeah, that's not too bad, I guess. And that's assuming, of course, that inflation stays where it's at. And the recent report now is at 2.7. Of course, we know that probably is not going to happen. Let's go on. If you're going to stay with your family, or you're going to have somebody move in to help you, one of the things that we might be looking at here is adult daycare. Adult daycare. Yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a place so we could go when we just need somebody to kind of look after us a little bit. But there's activities and things that they do, right? Much like daycare for our kids. That's $20,000 in 2019, and that was $1,600 a month. Now there's some, hours that's calculated here. It's not 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, that kind of thing. They're talking 20 hours a week. So if that's 1,684, you can see where people expect to go and get help. Because in 2023, that's 4,300. That's $2,700 a month more. And then it goes up to $5,800. So I don't know if you're seeing where I'm going here, but let's jump down another notch and let's look at assisted living. I think assisted living is going to be more and more an option for a lot of people. You start looking at adding up all that stuff above you, staying home, and staying home can be very expensive. But why not make our home in a 1-bedroom apartment? I'm sitting there the other day thinking about this, and they're talking about these micro houses to help people get started and help people age out. Micro houses, 550, 600 square feet. That's like my first apartment, honestly. I don't think that was much more than that. So what's wrong with a private 1-bedroom apartment setting someplace with people my age that I can talk to, that I can remember the old times? I sat there with a young person the other day. I mean, young being in their 30s. And I started talking about Bob Seger, Ted Nugent, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter. And I get this blank look from this person, like, who are you talking about here? And of course, to try to explain that to somebody that age is time consuming and was really not what I wanted to do. I was really looking at music and political climate of today versus what it was when I was a teenager and in my 20s and 30s. And it was not a conversation that went well. It wasn't a conversation that I felt was very productive or educational for them. And that's frustrating. So let's stay at home, be by ourselves, talk to nobody except our family. That just doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But, as some of these facilities go, I visited one not long ago and I thought, I can live here. I don't have to cook a thing in my room. I can go down to the restaurant and I can get something to eat there. Somebody comes in and vacuums my house for me, cleans my house, takes care of my bedding, even does a few dishes if I get a few dishes. I mean, does that sound bad? And of course, there's somebody there to keep an eyeball on me, and there's a pull cord in case something happens in the apartment. Of course, that was independent. So here I move into an independent living facility. It's a lot less, by the way, than what it is for assisted living, but that progresses to assisted living and, end of days care. But assisted living back in 2019 was $44,000 a month. Yeah, I'll buy that one. That was about right. Look at 2023. 5 years later, it's only $5,000 a month. It's not going up like the other ones have gone up. And then jump ahead to 2033 when, most people say, well, I might need something, when I'm in my 70s. That's $6,700 a month. That compared to staying at home at $16,000. Yeah, that's right. Take the homemaker services and the homemaker health aid, and you add them up, and that's 16 grand a month, plus your utilities, plus the taxes, plus. And I can see where it could deplete you very quickly. Yeah. On the other hand, here I am in this independent living facility. Now I'm in the assisted living. It's costing me $6,700 a month. There are ways to prepare for that, by the way. But then what about the nursing home? Everybody, not everybody, but there's a portion of people who goes, I'll just let them put me in a nursing home. State will pay for that, won't they? For the majority of us, the answer is no. Nope. Criteria is that you're poor. You got under $2,000 in assets, and the only thing you own is your house and your car, basically. But then, back in 2019, it was $100,000 for a semi-private room in a state-run Medicaid facility. If you were private pay, that's $8,300 a month. Now it's $10,570 a month, and in 2033 it's going to be $14,250. I'm sorry, how much? From $8,000 in 2019 to $15,000 or $14,000. That's nearly double in that time span, and it's a 40% increase over today. Look at the private room. Well, that's okay. They'll put me in a private room. I'll pay for a private room. That was $9,200. Call it $9,300. $9,292 in 2019, and today that's 11. So that's only gone up a couple $1,000s a month. Jump ahead to 2033, and it's 15 grand a month. Honey, I don't know how to tell you this. That's $180,000 a year. You got $180,000 spent on a private room in a nursing home. Come see me. I got some swampland that I think is just a perfect option to build a home on. Anybody that's thinking about paying that for a private room in a nursing home has lost their mind. If you're going to do that, stay at home. Bring these people in 40 hours a week. That's still 16 grand a month, and I'm in my own home. Let's be honest, guys. This is getting to be ridiculous. And you know what? Here's the problem with our conversation today. They know it. And they know we have no other option but to pay for it. It's the largest and fastest growing industry in the United States right now. It's outpacing the car industry. It's outpacing every other industry. Why? Us baby boomers. And behind us, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, all these guys are going to be next in line. And if we insist on moving in with our family or having our family move in with us, their time in the nursing home or their time in care is going to be sooner than later because we're going to wear them out. I'm adamant about this, guys. I just can't see any other answer here for this other than planning. You know, in one of these surveys, I think it's this most recent Genworth study, there's or not the one that says cost of care, but there's another one called Beyond the Cost of Care, where they were actually interviewing the caregiver. In every single case, 100% of the people interviewed said they wish their parents, their loved one, had prepared better for this day. Wait a minute. The family saying that now that they're in care, they're helping. It's costing them money. It's costing them time. It's full of stress. It's full of frustration. Honor, duty, responsibility, all those words come in there. It's an honor for me to take care of my parents. Yeah, it is. But it's a heck of a responsibility. And if you don't plan right, if we don't prepare properly, it's stressful. It's beyond stressful. It tears families apart, not financially, not just financially. Families dissolve over this. I see families split all the time because Jimmy knows what's best for mom. Susie knows what's best for mom. Jimmy's wife knows what's best for her mother-in-law. I mean, everybody seems to know what's best for mom, and mom or dad never put that down in writing what they really want. And here's what we really want as parents. We want our families to stay together, to rely on each other over the years, so that when we get old, we have something to hold on to. And that's our memories, and that's our families. But if we don't plan for this, not just financially, as you can see on my screen, it's imperative we do that, but for the rest of it, the homemaker services, the adult daycare, what do we want? What do you want? What is it that you want from that time? And what is it you don't want? A lot of times it's easier for us to identify what we don't want than what we do, right? Say, listen, coffeewithralph.com is a free 15-minute call with me. I'd love to get more calls on this. I would devote hours a day to these calls if somebody would, if I had more of them coming in. Because this is so imperative. This is so critical. Money's money. But above all else, family is family. And we need to protect it. We need to protect our families from this. There's commercials out there for life insurance that say they're protecting the family against the unexpected. Death is not an unexpected, folks. It's expected. When, that's the unexpected. Needing care, that's no longer unexpected either. 70%. 70% said they're going to need care of some form or another. Listen, guys, if you ask me, I'd tell you I don't need help. I'm capable of doing everything on my own. today. Just like my friend, I can't get down on the ground the way I used to, so that means I can't really putz around on my tractor. My lawnmower takes me more work now than, to change the blades on it than it did 10 years ago. What happens when I can't get down there and I don't have the strength to bust the bolts loose? I'm gonna have to hire that done, or hire somebody to do my lawn. Does that care? It's part of it. Hey guys, this has been Coffee with Ralph. I really do appreciate you tuning in every week. Questions, shoot them at me. Want this information that I have on my screen? You can see where it's from. It's cost of care evaluation from 2023. Right there it is, cost of care, Genworth.pdf. But if you go to their website, you can look it up. You can punch in your year. You think it's not going to be 2033, you think it's going to be 2043, punch it in, see what it looks like. I've already done it. It's scary. But hey, this has been Coffee with Ralph. I really appreciate you tuning in. I probably went a little long today. My apology. Hopefully everything went the way it should today. I'm gonna stop my share, get back on the main screen here.